What's good, y'all? What's poppin'? How y'all been? What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're new here, this is Self Made Energy. We want for nothing because we can manifest anything. This week, you guys, I had to squeeze this video in because my job was like, we could dress up for Halloween. So, of course, I'm like, yes, let's go. I'm ready to buy every single costume I see because I love Halloween. It's like one of my favorite holidays. But anyway, reads fine print. It says you have to make it from something bought in the store. So I'm like, oh, it's lit. Because I already do that anyway. So I scoured the store for a couple minutes because I already worked there. So I already knew what they had. And the sales was popping this week. So I got a couple things because I had so many ideas in mind. Once I looked on Google, I seen like 6 costumes right off the bat. In like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, that's it right there. I didn't even have to look no more. But yeah, this week, you guys, I'm going to show you how I made a cotton candy dress and Helga Pataki. So it's about to be lit, y'all. Let's get into it. Okay, so when I seen this picture on Google, I already knew exactly how to do this. So I was like, yes, let's go. So first thing I thought of was you need to find a dress that you don't mind messing up to glue a bunch of fluffy stuff on. And I had this dress for a couple years now, so I was like, let's use this one. It's good to go. But I did want to take off that like decorative onlay in the front, which I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I ended up just cutting it off. But it is like a part of the structure, so I had to cut it off pretty carefully. But yeah, good to go, y'all. Let's get started. So once I decided for sure I was going to use this dress, I ended up just cutting the lace off. It had like a little hole design, so I just cut it along the holes and left the bottom part on the dress because it was actually holding the dress together. So I can take it all the way off like I wanted to, but that's alright because you won't see it anyway once I cover it with fluff. And y'all, making this costume was so easy. Like, literally, all I did was glue this fluff completely all over the whole dress with fabric tacky glue and a hot glue gun. Like, literally, that's all I did. Like, I am not exaggerating. You see it here. I put some tacky glue down, and then I just put the hot glue gun to make it stick right quick, and the tacky glue will dry in a couple hours and it'll be stuck for a good while. At least I'm hoping it will. I hope it doesn't come off while I'm working. But anyway, just stick it everywhere. And when you do your first layer, don't think you're done because you're definitely going to have holes and places that you miss, spots you're going to have to fill in. So just go around, dig into places, make sure you get all the crevices. Make sure you put a lot on the seams because you're going to do a lot of moving and bending there. So you're going to need some extra reinforcement there. But yeah, glue and fluff and glue and puff and keep going until every piece is covered. And I know right now it's looking like a cloud, but don't worry, you can add color later. Cotton candy comes white until you add the color. So we're just making the fluff right now. We'll add color later. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, I also took the glue gun and like made the little stringies. You know how you stick the glue and then you pull away and there's a whole long string of glue that you have no need for. Well, this project, you actually have need for those strings. Like, you want those strings to be hanging around because it gives the real effect of like the melted sugar on the cotton candy. So make sure you put in those strings everywhere. Have the little strings hanging, have the little globs of glue, It's definitely going to help bring the realism into your cotton candy. So don't be afraid to get messy with this, because cotton candy is nowhere near perfect. It is a complete mess. It gets you a mess. It gets everything it touches a mess. So this costume needs to do the same. And you guys, a lot goes a long way with this fluff. I bought 2 bags thinking I was going to need 2 bags. I only used half a bag on the entire dress. So this is not an expensive project at all. And as you saw in the beginning, I got it for 30% off. So this project was nice and cheap, y'all. But once you're done making sure your dress is completely covered in fluff and you make sure all your sugar strands is popping, you're going to decide what color you want. And of course, I chose pink. No surprise there. Of course, I chose 2 different pinks as well because, y'all, cotton candy is not just one flat color. No, you definitely see the white popping out. You see some lighter colors, some darker colors. It doesn't matter if it's all blue, it's a light blue, it's a dark blue, it's a little royal blue in there, some sky blue. It's all of the colors, so you gotta mix it up. Just don't make it one flat color. You're gonna get bored really quickly. But anyway, make sure your area is nice and secure with some kind of plastic. And definitely make sure you're wearing a mask or a respirator or something, because, y'all, I blew my nose like a couple hours later and it was pink. So, wear a mask. Don't be me. Of course, I sprinkled some glitter on it at the end. But yes, this is how it looks on a hanger. You'll see the final review after I'm done with this next costume, y'all. Iconic. That's all I have to say about this next one. Y'all know her. Y'all love her. Or maybe y'all don't. But I love her. She's me. Like, we are one. Angry, pink, but so lovable. Yes. Okay, but let's get into it. This was the inspo I got from Google. And I basically just got a remnant and a zipper and got it to poppin'. So the first thing you want to do is lay out your fabric. Mine is 1.5 yards of pink cotton fabric. It was a remnant. A remnant is the end of the bolt, so you get it for 50% off because they want to get rid of it. But luckily it was 1.5 yards, so it was just enough for what I needed. I just laid it out and laid any dress that I had that was like A-line shape, because her dress is pretty straightforward, nothing fancy about it. And I just cut the pattern out on one side. I folded it over and used that side to cut the other side just so it could be even. I also used some scrap fabrics that was left over to cut a 3-inch strip for the bottom of her dress, because she does have that like darker pink strip towards the bottom, and then it finishes off in the same color as the top. So don't forget to make those 2 strips because you're gonna need them. To make that darker strip, I just got a felt sheet. It was like $1, and I split it into 4 pieces. They ended up being 3 inches, which is why I made the bottom strip 3 inches, just so it could be even on my eye. I like symmetry. But yeah, split it up into 4 pieces, and you're gonna attach those 4 pieces so it can be one long strip all the way around the bottom of the dress. So pin the felt strips together, right sides together, and then sew along the pins. You're definitely going to want to use a straight stitch because felt does not stretch, so there's no need for a zigzag stitch here. Simple straight stitch will do just fine. So sew along the pins, and I ended up opening the seams and doing a top stitch on both sides of the seam just because I wanted it to be really flat and felt is really stiff. So I just tacked it right into place so I wouldn't have no lumps or bumps later. I wanted it to be really neat because Helga is an icon and I wanted to respect this costume. But once I was done with the felt strip, I just attached it to the bottom strip, right sides together, and I made sure that the side seam the would-be side seam that I would create later once I inserted the zipper was in the middle of the felt strap. So fold the felt in half and line it up with the half of your bottom fabric. I hope this is making sense. Make sure the middles meet. Pin everything in place and then sew it together. I also top stitched this down as well, again because the felt is stiff and I wanted it to be very flat. Once I was done with the top stitch, I just did a rolled hem along the entire bottom just to make sure there was no fraying and my dress wouldn't fall apart later. I wanted it to be really neat, so I just folded it over and folded it over again and did a straight stitch along the entire bottom. Once I was done with the bottom portion of the dress, I took the top portion right sides together and I attached it at the shoulder seams, and then I pinned down one side of the side seam. I left the other side open for the zipper, and then I sewed along those pins and closed that part up. I know these words are not matching up with the video, but that is what I'm doing in this part of the video. I know it's all over the place because I did the top and then I did some top stitching, then I went back and tried to put the zipper in, messed it up, left the pins in, did some more sewing. Like, I was all over the place with this project, but I'm just gonna break the words down for you easy. Especially because I have no idea how to explain how to put in a zipper. Putting in this zipper was so ridiculously hard for me. Like, it was the first time I tried it, and God, I hope that this is the hardest it will ever be and that it gets easier every time from now, because if not, I'm over zippers and everything can have buttons. I also ended up having to go back and add 2 huge triangle darts under my arms because, of course, for some reason, I just never have enough space for my boobs. So nothing I make ever fits. I always have to go back and make more room. So I ended up having to do that as well, which was also stressful as I don't know what, because I had the zipper under the arm. So I had to take a triangle, cut it in half, and put one half on each side of the zipper. Making this costume was just, this one was a struggle for me, but definitely worth it. And I definitely want you guys to know that nothing just happens perfectly the first time. It does not work like that. You're gonna make mistakes, and it is okay. As long as you don't give up. Never give up. Keep trying. If it doesn't work the first time, try a different way. If it doesn't work that way, try a different way. Watch a video. Ask somebody a couple questions. Look things up. But don't give up. Okay, you guys? Once I was finally done putting the dress together, I attached the bottom portion right sides together with the dress, and I pinned all the way around. I made sure to leave the part where the zipper was open because I didn't know how to close the zipper. So I just left that part all the way till last, which I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have closed it up at this portion. It would have been easier, but again, I had no idea how to put a zipper in, so I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing. But yeah, I just attached it with a straight stitch all the way around. And again, I know the words are not matching up, but this is what I did. I don't want to get too ahead because you're going to see for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to be doing a rolled hem around the neckline and around the armholes, and I'm going to top stitch it down. So I guess I just spilled the beans, but that's what you're about to be seeing for the next couple minutes. Make sure when you're doing a hem on any kind of round area that you cut little notches, very tiny notches, just so the fabric has enough room to stretch out and actually lay flat. Because without those notches, it's going to be like real tight and bumpy, and you don't want that. You want it to be nice and flat. So cut some tiny little notches anywhere that there's a curve in your garments. So how I decided to finish off the edges around the top of the zipper under the armhole was just fold over the top and do a rolled hem even with the zipper portion, because the top of the zipper was already closed off, so I didn't have to worry about that part too much. I just lined it up with the underarm and folded the excess fabric over to line up with the zipper, and that was perfect. But the other parts, struggle. To cover up the bottom portion of the zipper, I ended up having to just cut out a small square and just top stitch it down over the little open area that was left underneath the zipper, because there was space between the zipper and the bottom of the dress. And it stressed me out. But at this point, I was just like, I'm not using a sewing machine. It's gonna mess up the integrity of my dress, so I'm just gonna top stitch it down and pray no one sees this little box. And of course, last but not least, I had to include some footage of me being super extra, just like Helga is, and creating her locket dedicated to her love for Arnold. So here it is, me going super hard and creating her locket. I also have a special surprise for you guys for the reveal of Helga's costume, so I'm telling y'all don't want to miss this. It's about to be lit.
Boob. What an annoying little smarty pants know-it-all. How I despise him. And yet, I love him. His his noble curiosity, his cool, keen powers of observation, his unfaltering sense of right and wrong. Oh, if only I could find the strength to tell him how much I adore him. If only there was some way I could let him know, some way I could whisper my secret adoring thoughts, soothe his fevered brow. Dare I even think it, kiss the lips that haunt my girlish dreams? Oh, if only, if only.
Helga, what are you doing down there?
Nothing, I just dropped a quarter, that's all.
A quarter?
Yeah, that's right, a quarter. Now go get me a milk and step on it, Phoebe.
Hurry.
Make it chocolate with a bendy straw. Here, Arnold, my love.
Oh my god, you guys, I'm so excited you made it to the end of the video. I'm so glad you made it here. I hope you liked the little movie I threw in. I was just so excited about this costume. I had to be extra. You know me. But make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you share this with everybody so they can see everything that's going on here. But until next time, you guys, love, peace, and cupcakes. Bye.